The next 10-15 minutes or so is very important. Some of the stuff I'm going to share with you is going to enable you to make your upgrades at least 10 times easier than they presently are. And I mean 10 times, and you'll see exactly why as I go through this presentation. Let me ask you a question. What are people really buying when they purchase or they buy into your leadership program? I'm going to tell you the answer, so you don't have to think too hard today. They are buying, get ready for it, write this down somewhere. Here's what they're buying. Hope. That's right, they're buying hope. And hope is the one of the most valuable commodities that everyone has on the planet right now. Whether you believe in religion or you don't, religion, in my mind at least, is a form of hope. Whether you believe in Allah or Jesus or whatever type of religion you practice, it's all about believing in a faith, believing in something that's bigger than you, having some hope that there's something better around the corner. They're going to hope that they will be fitter when they purchase your leadership program. They're going to hope they're going to be stronger in the future. They're going to be hoping they have more confidence in the future when they purchase or as a result of purchasing your leadership program. And of course, they hope they'll gain more connection and significance. So these are all things that people are really hoping for in the future. You know, the best advantage we have with the martial arts or teaching the martial arts or selling martial arts programs is that they're intangible. You can't touch it, hold it, feel it. You really can't. So you have to give the people that you're talking to hope, real hope, and you have to take them into the future. Now remember, earlier on in this training I spoke about the importance of understanding that your brain can't distinguish between things you vividly imagine and things you've actually done. It can't tell. It even triggers the same muscles at the same time. You have the same thought process. You can even begin sweating as if you're performing in that exercise if you vividly imagine it. So what you need to do when you're going through the enrollment process is whisk them into the future, fast forward them into the future. And again, this is covered in all the scripts that are available to you via our program, but nevertheless, let me give you some real tools that will help you do that. So have them imagine what it would be like for them to have those benefits. Now, when people are making purchasing decisions or buying decisions, they look for emotional and logical reasons to buy. You got that? They look for logical and emotional reasons to buy. We know that the martial arts, of course, is an emotional purchase. But let me assure you, folks, when you tell them it's $7,795, they've got to look for some more logical reasons to back up their emotion to tell them that this makes sense. I'm going to give you some tools that you can show them of what tools you have at your fingertips that will improve their chances of success. That's their being them or their child's chances of success. So what tools do you have? Well, here's a suggestion of some of the tools that you can display to somebody that you will have at your fingertips. You're going to create a program of accountability. You can have something the parents can see, touch and feel, and something they can instantly see will add value to their child's behavior, or to their behavior for that matter. You're going to give them something. You'll be talking about the leadership program as you go through your presentation, even if you just have a flip chart. Wonder what it would be like to have something like this, something that enables you to stop talking about life skills and actually start providing these parents with real tools. Because the moment you say you teach life skills, what does that really mean? What does that mean in the mindset of the parent? Well, what they think it means and what you think it means might be two different things. So let me give you an example. In front of you right now, you should see a leadership card. One of my leadership cards. In fact, we designed these cards about 3 or 4 years ago that we can incorporate into our martial arts program. These cards provide you with a week by week, that's each and every week, of life skill and leadership, not only recommended and suggested behaviors, but also some form of action, some form of home study that the children need to take. So let me give you an example of this. If we spoke about charisma, this is one of the life skills or life traits that we would be teaching in our martial arts class. Let's look at week 1. You must give respect in order to receive it. The fastest way to get respect from someone is to give it. Listen, study, and observe how successful people meet and greet each other. So if I was presenting to a parent and speaking about our leadership program, I would say, Mrs. Smith, can you see how by just using one of our many tools we have in our martial arts academy, we can create a better, more rounded and successful child. So Mrs. Jones, couldn't you see how you can create a more successful, more well-rounded child by using one of these tools? Now Johnny, here's 5 things that you can do now to show respect to somebody. I need you to write down 5 things that you can do to show respect. At the leadership presentation, I would even have Johnny fill out or go through one of these home study sections with me live, so the parent can easily see how impactful having this kind of understanding, this kind of training will greatly enhance their child's behavior. Let's look at week 2. Become genuinely interested in other people. The way to show interest in other people is to ask them questions about their interests. This will also enable you to take control of the conversation. So Johnny, give an example of a conversation type of question you would ask. So what would you ask if you were really interested in somebody? What would you ask about, Johnny? And here, Mrs. Smith, we're teaching your child to engage not just only in the physicality of martial arts, but also how important it is to use their study to improve their communication skills. Can you see, Mrs. Smith, how powerful these life skill training cards really are and can be to shape your child's behavior and benefit them not just in the physicality of martial arts, because come on, let's face it, anybody can teach your child to become more physically strong, but that's not really where the strong people are. So just imagine if you had these tools available to you, physical tools, leadership cards that you could flip through and show a prospective parent about not only how you're going to tell them how you're going to improve their child's behavior, but how you're actually going to show them. You see, you're going to be talking to a parent and you're asking to commit to a $7,000 program. So if you're going to ask them to commit to a $7,000 program, wouldn't it make more sense to have both emotional and some logical reasons for them to take the leap of faith with you? Now, of course, we've said many, many times, you can't make up for what happens on the floor in the office. However, what you can do in the office is really sit down with a parent and have them understand about what your program really is all about. It's not just about kicking and punching, Mrs. Smith. It's really about a program to help your child become the best person they can be. Let me give you an example. Let me show you some of the life skill training cards that we use. Let me show you some of the home study we expect our children to do in our leadership program. Can you see how this would benefit your child, Mrs. Smith? Mrs. Smith, I'm sure you can't even place a value on this, could you? To have a polite, well-mannered, respectful child, there is no cost that you can put on that. Is there? Really? And just imagine, folks, if you didn't have one leadership card, one leadership tool, you had a whole series of them, just like you have right now. So my recommendation is, folks, is that you create some form of leadership or lifestyle training. So what do I really recommend? Do I recommend you take the time, get a graphic designer, go through, produce 52 weeks of training material, the guides, the home study course? Well, that is something that you could do, and I certainly recommend that your return on investment would be incredible. Or, how about this? You pick up the 12 leadership cards producing 48 weeks of life skill training in the leadership program that we offer as part of the Survive and Thrive training program. Would that make a little more sense? It certainly would to me. So, next week, what are we talking about in week 19? We're going to be talking about direct marketing. We're going to talk about how you can use it cost effectively and how you can use it at low cost and sometimes no cost direct marketing. This is something that's never really been covered before. I'm not talking about the traditional sending postcards. I'm going to talk about the only form of direct marketing that you should be doing right now in these specific economic times. So, I hope you've enjoyed this week's training. This is it from me, as always, Leigh Childs, the Martial Arts Success Guy, sincerely wishing you every success with your martial arts business and looking forward to sharing same time, same place next week. Good luck and God bless.